Today is April 1st. April Fool's Day. And I'm Derek O'Shea. And this is the Derek O'Shea Show. President Joe Biden. I don't know where that came from. Joe Biden. President Joe Biden endorsed Major League Baseball's July All-Star Game moving out of Georgia in retaliation for Georgia's new election laws. I love when politicians get in the fight of getting businesses out of states that don't comply with their own way of the country should be run. Wow. Nothing says unity like that, Joe. Great job. Joe Biden said, I think today's professional athletes are acting incredibly responsibly. Man, I would strongly support them moving the All-Star Game out of Atlanta. Biden told ESPN's Sage Steele, people look at them. They are leaders. Do you look at athletes as leaders for your life to embolden and be like? Look at what happened with the NBA, quote, as well. Look at what's happening across the board. The very people who are victimized the most, which nothing like encouraging a narrative, especially for those with a huge platform that feels like they need to always talk about politics. We can't take a break from politics, not even in sports. You're going to get politics everywhere, even in Coca-Cola museums. Look what's happening across the board. The very people who are victimized are the most are the people who are leaders. I'm sorry, Joe Biden quotes are hard, okay? God, he doesn't speak very clear. The very people who are victimized the most are people who are the leaders in these various sports. It's just not right. Well, maybe you need to find your facts at a more factual based place, not emotionally based. Biden continued, this is Jim Crow on steroids, referring to the Georgia election new laws where you are required to have an ID. And people that work for campaigns can't pass you water. But if you're a church and you go there and you pass out water, that's fine. But if you're like, hey, I'm with Joe Biden, here's a glass of water, but you better vote for Joe Biden. You're not allowed to do that. And that's called Jim Crow. So Jim Crow on steroids is not being able to hand out water if you're a freaking candidate. It's so stupid. And they just hate that voter ID. Let's just be real. This is Jim Crow on steroids and what they're doing in Georgia and 40 other states. This narrative that people of color, POCs, immigrants, black people, like poor people, just they don't know how to vote. They don't know how to use a computer. They don't know what to do with these things. It's so racist. And every argument I've heard against voter ID is so freaking racist. It drives me insane. And people just buy it. Like, don't you understand how dumb it makes you sound by saying this is okay? Dr. Jill Biden. Jill Biden. You better put that doctor in front of that name. She's a real doctor. Spoke Spanish to a crowd and totally failed. But, you know, the media has their back. If Donald Trump did something like that, they'd be like, racist president tries speaking Spanish. It doesn't even know how to do it. What a Trump. And failed. But one thing was really interesting when she was talking, in her little Spanish, was a flag behind her, which appeared to resemble Nazi imagery. The flag, though, was the official flag of United Farm Workers of America, but there was also this red flag with the eagle, and it looked very Nazi-esque, just kind of weird. But, you know, the media has their backs. If Trump did anything like that and had that workers' flag behind him, they would say, look, white supremacist, he's putting it in front of our faces. And we just sit here. Okay, the U.S. military in Europe is on high alert following a buildup of Russian forces in eastern Ukraine, a situation that has reportedly escalated sharply in recent days after 4 Ukrainian soldiers were killed during a battle against Russian-backed forces. This situation is heating up, and Joe would love a good war to go to. After that Syrian strike that we just did a strike and then stopped. I don't understand Democrats. And they're just like, let's shoot off rockets. Okay, let's pull back. The Senator Kennedy came on Tucker Carlson and was coming up against the CNN report claiming that gender identity isn't known at birth, said on Tucker Carlson that a boy has a penis and a girl has a vagina. Disgusting. Get him out of politics. I can't handle being around somebody so outrageous and dangerous, and I'm just scared to bring my kids around this fella. Senator Kennedy, you big goofball. 4 dead, including a child in a shooting at an office complex in an LA suburb. There's not much information about this, probably because it doesn't fit any narrative. AOC just can't stop talking on Instagram. Seriously. Just shut up. Saying now she continues to double down about the border crisis, saying it's barbaric and inhumane border conditions and demands reparations for separated families. This is just one day after saying, hey, there wasn't a surge. That's white nationalists to say that. That's supremacist. That's racist. That's militaristic. You can't say surge, even though there is a surge and we're doing a lot and it's barbaric and inhumane and reparations need to spread for these families. She's finally realizing that even her viewers are going, hey, you're two-faced. And she's like, wait a minute, I'll do another video. Matt Gaetz, which on Tucker Carlson said was the weirdest interview he's ever conducted, apparently has produced texts and an email in a printout with the heading Project Homecoming, saying Matt Gaetz was being extorted for $25 million over sex orgy and underage prostitutes and plot to help rescue American hostage Robert Levinson from Iran and bombshell documents. And apparently it was extortion. So this thing is weird, but also heating up. It's such a weird thing, but could you put it past any politician to extort another? No. Biden administration knew more than a week ago that 15 million doses of Johnson & Johnson had been ruled out by its contractor. And they said nothing. Latino activists oppose Chicago suburb naming school after Barack and Michelle because ex-president was deporter-in-chief. Yes, nothing's better than when they eat their own. Cancel Obama. Boom. Done. Key witness in George Floyd trial is now going to testify, though saying he would be the voice of George Floyd. He's not going to trial, so this is interesting. He probably doesn't want to be a part of it. He probably sees where it's going. George Floyd appeared... The new video where George Floyd appeared high when he handed over the fake $20 bill and had difficulty forming words as the worker that worked with this guy testified as court shown never before seen moments before he even died. So lots of stuff going on in that court battle. And they had kids testify and showed kids in videos on film, which is illegal, which is... That's a weird trial. Midwestern Pet Foods, Evansville, Indiana, is issuing a voluntary recall on specific expiration dates on certain dog food and cat food brands. So if you have a dog or cat and they eat Midwestern Pet Foods, check out that, look it up, because they are having a recall. Georgia, Coca-Cola CEO says the racist Georgia voter ID law is a step backward and unacceptable. However, he is requiring ID to be shown at the gate to gain admission into Coca-Cola's annual shareholders meeting. Rules for me, not for thee. It's just so annoying when corporations do this. You're just going to lose. They just don't even care anymore about losing people's money. They just want to be right and want to join the cause and feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves. Biden proposes a corporate tax increase from 21% to 28%, which was before Trump got in office at 35%. So that's going on. Nothing like shutting down the economy and then raising corporate taxes. Britons could have their faces scanned to allow them access to pubs and sporting events under one government-funded plan drawn up for the vaccine passport. You gotta love British people. I mean... they're just okay with it. They're like, yeah, you can scan my face. No big deal. Not like it's like a big database with my name and information and everything I have going on in my life and breaking HIPAA laws and all that kind of stuff. No problem. And today in history, in 1700, English pranksters began popularizing the annual tradition of April Fool's Day by playing practical jokes on each other. 1700? I didn't know that. Did you know that? That's pretty old. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Derek O'Shea Show. I appreciate you guys so much. Have a fantastic Thursday. Look out for my video dropping soon. It's dropped some places about my 5 big takeaways from the new, from Joe Biden's new tax plan. Check that out. It's on YouTube. Instagram probably be uploaded later. Check it out. And I appreciate you guys so much. Have a fantastic day. Also, if you don't mind sharing this news with anyone and everyone you know, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the Derek O'Shea community. Have a fantastic Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow for another edition of the Derek O'Shea Show.